Okay, thank you everybody for being here, and let's get started with Mance as our first presenter. Hi, Mance, thank you for joining us.
Year in review and try to give you, as I go through this, of how I view the activities and the progress that's being made, share some thoughts that you wouldn't necessarily get, or, it would be difficult for you to glean without being part of some of these things. And so hopefully it'll be interesting and valuable to you as we go through this. Well, you can't start the conversation without acknowledging the TPS growth, right? If I'm not mistaken, somebody here can keep me honest on this point. I think we were roughly about 20 TPS at the beginning of the year. And today we're pushing 2,000 TPS. That's, of course, that is a step function. I'm happy to say that is a step function. And, just sort of the first order observation of it doesn't really give you the insight that I think is most interesting. And that is that a couple of years ago, we were maybe at 100 TPS. The majority of that was driven by just a couple of users of the network. All minority of those transactions were driven by what I'll call the long tail of users of the network. Maybe 7 to 10 TPS back then was driven by lots and lots of different projects. And, 90% of it was driven by just a couple. What's interesting is the percentages haven't changed much. But if you think about the fact that now the long tail is driving hundreds of TPS, which is an order of magnitude more than the total just a couple of years ago, I think that is significant. So even if you remove the largest TPS drivers, the long tail of the network by themselves are driving an enormous number of transactions through the network relative to the other layer ones out there. That's a really big deal in my mind. And we're going to see, and I've said this multiple times, it's not surprising that we're going to see a handful of use cases driving huge numbers of transactions. And why is that? Well, work. Handle enormous throughput, and the channel, if you will, for really high throughput is HCS, their consensus service. And now we're some of the enterprise use cases taking advantage of HCS in the way it was intended, and because they've been built to handle really high throughput or to drive high throughput transactions, they're going to represent the lion's share of the total TPS in the network. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, we would expect other enterprises and just enterprise use cases, but large consumer-focused use cases to also take advantage of HCS. And they will drive high throughput. That's the expectation anyway. And you will begin to see diversification in the really high volume use cases out there. But even if you set all that aside, it's still that the other use cases that are low TPS or smart contract focused TPS, there's a lot of TPS today relative to where we were 2 years ago and relative to the rest of the market in terms of what the rest of the market is driving. So that's all very good news. And we've seen that kind of growth this year. And, that's one of the hallmarks of the year for us. All right, so that's the other thing that I found interesting this year was the way it has played out over the year. What we've seen is that the council is engaged in a way and more directly than ever before. You've seen, as a result of this, and this is, sort of a first order observation, what you saw is a change to the staking plan to make it sustainable over time. And so all you're seeing is the output of the process. What you're seeing is a change to the staking plan. Actually, behind the scenes, enormous debate, lots and lots of really productive debate and arguments about the direction and approach, all, of course, very professional and good humor, but it's still pretty intense. And there was a task force that was set up for exploring this in depth, and then the discussion went to the larger council, and it went on for months, many months. And it was just a very vigorous discussion about what to do with the staking program over time. Now, what we have is a change to the staking program that's happened a few months back that's sustainable. And you can go and look at the details of that if you're interested. But importantly, this was not something that was left up to the decision of a couple of people. This is truly a council decision that resulted after many months of a large majority of the council members participating in a protracted discussion and exploration of all the possibilities and what the right, ultimately made a decision on what the right path forward was for Hedera. So that was important, and it was great to see from my perspective. One is that we've gotten market validation this year, various strategic choices. The decision at the very beginning of the project to use EM as a smart contracts engine versus building something proprietary. So we made that decision at the beginning. We built the first version of this, and the TPS and the earliest version of the EVM seen as a service on top of Hedera wasn't great. I remember exactly what it was, but it was roughly approximated the same TPS. Maybe it's a little better than what Ethereum could do. Not a lot better than what Ethereum could do at the time. But we believed that this is an ecosystem play ultimately. That means is that system is going to coalesce ultimately around a given contract tech in the smart contract layer. You've heard me talk in the past about how stack matures, the market matures over time, the tech stack differentiates itself into multiple layers, and at the bottom layer is the consensus layer for us, that's Hashgraph. Then the layer on top has services, one of which is the smart contracts platform, and that whole smart contracts layer in itself become a market, and there would be multiple market participants vying for in the smart contracts layer. I bet early on that it was going to be the EVM that would win. And I think that this year we're seeing that. And what's happening is that as the rest of the market grows up and you have all these different infrastructure providers and players in the broader T or crypto market, all, of course, adding support directly for EVM. And if you don't have the EVM as your smart contract layer, it's going to become increasingly difficult to get integrated to all these different infrastructure providers, and we've seen that. So we've been moving, this is a continuum. We started compatible, meaning that, if you a contract back from just the Ethereum community, you could make it run, maybe with just a few minor tweaks, you could make it run on top of Hedera. But there's a difference between compatibility and equivalence. And we've been moving towards equivalence. For example, being able to have smart contracts that are going to be managing tokens to directly interact with our token service when they get moved over to Hedera. We have addresses. We have addresses for our accounts. It should be possible for smart contracts that are assuming form of an Ethereum account, which is different than what the form is of a Hedera account, to simply work. Those are two examples of EVM equivalents that we've taken steps to achieve. And this is not something that just ends, right? Because the EVM standard is going to change over time. Our commitment to remaining EVM equivalent, growing more and more EVM equivalent and remaining EVM equivalent is there. And we've made good progress on that this year. But the important thing was that what I view as the market validation, that our initial strategy of choosing to focus on the EVM, we made the bet there, and I think we bet correctly. So those are some of the interesting things that I thought you might like to hear. Of course, there are all kinds of other things you've probably seen in the market, you've seen through press releases. I'll just list a few here, again, just for completeness, but the Hyundai and Kia emissions and pilot is very interesting to me. The ServiceNow product is great. There are other POCs that you all have heard about, the real-time remittances for the banks and Shinhan and Standard, the EDF POC for Rex and ESG use cases. Oh, of course, we rolled out the Stablecoin Studio. I think that was a really big deal. We're seeing good traction there with that, and you'll see more of those types of maybe, if you want to use that term, out in the coming months and quarters. I think that's important to reduce time to market for developers, is to make it easier for them to just quickly build and deploy. So council members, it would be remiss not to mention Kafra and Dell. I'd like to have seen more council members added this year than what was added, but have been added. They're top quality. And so, like I said, for the past 2 years, quality now over quantity, and really good quality candidates. They're deeply involved in the governance of the network. They are part of it, and they show up and help. It is huge, right? We want to shout out to Elizabeth here for live. This was the first city organized event this year. I think that was really an important milestone, and Elizabeth that supported her, fantastic job. Lehman and I were there, as well as Christian and a handful of others to support that. And I'm looking forward to whenever the next community event. So another shout outs to a bunch of community projects that really have progressed this year: Twigital, Neuron, HashPack, SaucerSwap, HSuite, Blade, Galaxy, Hashport, KarateCom. All of those are noteworthy. I apologize if I've one or more out. Number is growing, and the work done there is fantastic, and we continue to be excited about those projects. Final here, because I'm over my time. Nick, a lot that's going to happen next year, and you'll see this as it unfolds, and I know that others will be on to talk some of this stuff in the coming months. But I did want to specifically call out one thing, and that is open source governance. So project has been open source now for quite a while. I don't remember when we technically made it all open source, but it's been the case for well more than a year now that base has been open sourced. Anyone can download it and use it. What not happened is a formal governance structure been put in place to manage the code base as an open source project, a community driven open project. Labs has been working now with the chief open source officer there, and there's good progress being made to that end. So this is one of those things that I'm very excited about for the coming year. And I know there's a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes, and I certainly don't want to steal any thunder from Andrew, but it is a focus area. You should be aware that we'll make progress to that end. And it's a goal to have directly involved in the governance of the code base, and also integrated, maybe in a more fundamental way, to some council operations that are related to the tech. I don't know exactly how it's going to look yet. Those are the discussions that are happening today, but that's this area, and I wanted to mention it. Okay, Mika, my apologies. I think I've gone well over my 15 minutes.
That is okay. That was amazing, Mance. Thank you so much. Honestly, I myself am even mind blown having followed your updates, because I think we get so caught up in the day to day and what's going on. But if you zoom out and you actually look at the past year, oh my goodness, so much has happened. TPS increasing, involvement from the GC members, lots of proof of concepts, launches, etc. Thank you. Like, I think everyone really needed this zoom out to see just how far we've come over this past year. And yeah, definitely looking forward to the next year. It's going to be an exciting one for sure.
Let me just add one final thought here. What you're hearing from me is half the story, right? The other half of the story is equally exciting, if not more exciting, is the progress that has been happening. Foundations, right? The THF and THA and the DLT Science Foundation are amazing things. Their 2024 looks way better than just the work that we're doing here in Swirlds Labs. And so, yes, I'm very excited about the project. Overall, I think it's appropriate to take a step back, take stock about we've come, if you consider where we started just not that many years ago. 2024 is going to be a good year. And by the way, I am macro level, I'm very excited I personally believe an even chance. Maybe it's 75% odds that we're really going to enter crypto spring. And there's a lot of speculation now that the Fed is going to tick rates down and certainly not raise them, and not even hold them flat, but begin to tick rates down, which to create sort of the macro environment that opens up. You take that in combination with a lot what's been going on with Congress and the regulators, and now we are sort of cleaning out a lot of the projects and things that have given the reputation bad name, right? If you heard my talk about this 8 months ago, there was a question about X and how long it was. Actually, 18 months ago, that's a little before FTX. But for the period, I've said it's going to take a while for all of this to get cleaned out of the larger ecosystem and for the market to feel comfortable that it can, again, participate in the world of crypto. We're nearly to that. I think that that's now largely behind us, and the macros are in our direction. I'm expecting 2024 to be good for the entire industry and certainly good for Hedera.
Yes, everything is exciting. The ecosystem as a whole just keeps on growing. We are seeing so much external support from everyone in the growing community. It's so great to see it all unfold. It really is. Thank you for the updates, Mance. Our next presenters are Donald and Kiran from Tuum Technologies. So I'm very excited about this update. I will give you the floor. You guys can go ahead. I know you have some slides, so I'll let you put those slides up now.
Yeah, can you hear me okay and see the slides?
Yes.
Great. Let me make it a little bit bigger. All right. Yeah, so Kiran and I are here today from Tuum Technologies. Mance, thank you for that year in review. I think it was great. And I think that we come in as one of those teams that joined the Hedera ecosystem a little over a year ago. We've been building out solutions ever since, and we're working towards a goal of eventually getting into some more consumer applications. But right now we're building out the tech stack to make some of this possible. So if you'd like to follow me, there's my QR code for my Twitter, and then Kiran for his GitHub. But just let me do a quick backstory about Tuum and what we are and what we're trying, our missions is. Basically, it stemmed from the creation of the name. We've from day one been about building out some open source services and tooling to make it possible for individuals to be empowered with their data, with what they can do with digital wallets, ownership, storage of data, and a lot of this goes around what you could do with decentralized identifiers and verifiable credentials. So this is some technology that's come out of the W3C, the World Wide Web Consortium, many, many years ago, and it's found its place now paired with crypto, the usage of ledgers, and the ability to use verifiable credentials to add some benefits to the usage of data. So from years ago, we built out some different services and tooling around this, and we joined Hedera just over a year ago, and we got involved with building out MetaMask Snap. So before jumping into that, just telling you that Kiran and I met, that's probably beginning of 2018. We were working together in the crypto space, and we formed Tuum Technologies at the beginning of 2020. So we've had several years working together, and our team's built out with, we have a lead designer, engineer, and then we scale up and down depending on the open source projects that we bring in. So what we're working on now is MetaMask Snap. Fun fact, we have a mentor of our project who was with Consensus back in 2017, and we thought that MetaMask Snaps were just something that's been worked on for the past 2+ years, but he had mentioned that even back then they were talking about the functionality of MetaMask Snaps. So the idea has been around for some time, even though it just went to open beta back in September. So 2.5 months ago is when it was officially released to production. But let's just go into what are MetaMask Snaps. So Snaps is a plugin system that's introduced by MetaMask and designed to extend the functionality of MetaMask. So it allows developers to create custom plugins that can be integrated into the wallet. So it's basically a program that runs in an isolated environment that can customize the wallet experience. So before the introduction of MetaMask Snaps, the wallet was basically an EVM wallet, and there was limited capabilities of what you could do with it. So this is a really big update because of their over 100 million users can now be able to use new services accessible through the battle-tested sandbox environment of the MetaMask wallet. So what we did is we actually first built a snap called Identify, and this was released as one of the first 30 snaps that are now accessible through snaps.metamask.io. So you can go now and see the first snap that was released in collaboration with Hedera, and this provided the functionalities that I talked about previously of using decentralized identifiers, verifiable credentials, using this decentralized identity technology, but also using the Hedera network. So we built that out. We went through the successful process of having that release as one of the first ones to come into production. And now, today, we have exciting news that if you've been following along or been in some of the other Twitter spaces or seen some of our announcements, we are building a new snap for Hedera. So this is something that has just started the allow list process, so we're hoping to have it out soon. But my co-founder, Kiran, will go into a little bit more details about what is this next Hedera snap.
All right. Thanks, Donnie. Hi, everyone. This is Kiran. A little background about me. I was born in Nepal, moved to the U.S. About 16, 17 years ago. I've been a software engineer for the last 10 years or so. So I've worked in various industries, from a company called Avaya to Lockheed Martin in the cybersecurity department, and more recently in the blockchain industry since 2017, late 2017. So today I'm going to be talking about the Hedera snap that we have been working on for the last few months. So Donnie gave a brief explanation of what a snap is. So I'm just going to skip over that and talk about what Hedera snap is supposed to do for all the existing MetaMask users and any new users that plan to be onboarded. So Hedera snap, you can think of it as a plugin within MetaMask that is going to let users interact with Hedera natively with MetaMask. So as Donnie was talking about, with existing MetaMask, you can only interact with the EVM compatible chains, and this is, Ethereum, Polygon. Obviously, with Hedera, there's also Hedera JSON RPC relay that you can use. But where we do differ with the Snap capabilities, instead of using the JSON RPC relay, we natively interact with the Hedera ledger to send HBAR, to interact with the Hedera token service, consensus service, file service eventually. But for now, we're just starting with the basic functionalities. In a sense, because it is a plugin, there's a lot of different applications you can build, and Wallet is only one of the many different applications you can build with the Snap. And we are planning on releasing this first sort of companion app to the Snap whenever we go live on the MetaMask Snap Store. Donnie, next slide, please. So this is a preview, I guess, of our upcoming companion app. You can see here that this is a basic wallet functionality, but it is gonna live on a website, and so the way that it's going to work is users will install the Hedera wallet snap, and that all happens automatically as soon as you go to this website whenever we're live, and then you can interact. You can send HBAR, you can to another EVM address, to another account, Hedera account ID. You can do all sorts of things there. In the beginning, we'll only have basic functionalities like sending HBAR, retrieving account information, things like that, viewing your token balance and things like that. But eventually, we plan to support other services like Hedera token service, consensus service, file service, all those kind of things. Next slide. All right, so some of the use cases I wanted to talk about, as I mentioned, Wallet is only one type of application you can build using or integrating with this Snap that we're releasing. So that's going to be one of the first companion apps that we ourselves are building. But developers can build their own wallet using the Snap, because the Snap itself is going to be completely open source, and so we'll have full documentation for all the developers who want to build on top of Snap, interacting with the Hedera natively. Another use case is, by the way, one other thing is MetaMask. Whenever you build a wallet, you also need to think about security and all that stuff. But with the Snap, because everything is executed in a sandbox environment, you don't have to. Like MetaMask handles the security for you. So all the battle-tested security that MetaMask has, that's basically passed over to each snap within MetaMask. So in a way, any applications that utilize this snap already have the existing security that MetaMask provides. And it's as simple as calling a simple API call for performing any kind of transaction like sending HBAR and other things. And another use case is you can integrate to existing applications. So you can think of Hedera Snap as a MetaMask plugin, which supports Hedera natively. So, there may be some other popular ecosystem applications like Saucer Swap or others, and they can easily integrate with the Snap and thereby letting existing MetaMask users interact with all the other functionality that Hedera provides natively. And one last thing is, basically imagination is your limit, because you can build any kind of applications, not just limited to wallets. You can feel free to build a very simple app that only utilizes Hedera file service, right? If you want to store files over there, you can easily do that. And it's in the background, it's still using the Snap, and it's still using MetaMask to sign transactions, but it lets you that flexibility to build any kind of applications on Hedera. All right. Thank you, everyone. That's it for me. Now, Donnie, I'll take it over. Donnie will take it over.
Yeah, so just adding on to what Kiran has already talked about and pertaining to this actual snap that we have developed and where we plan to go from here, we've built in the basic account functions that'll be available in the first version. And then going into the end of the year, into early next year, we'll be adding in some advanced functionality in the Hedera token service. So that's what we're working on now. Also, what Kiran had mentioned is it is open source, so if anybody wants to contribute, they can, but there are future possibilities of our team taking on or others to build out the accessibility to the smart contract service, consensus service, and miscellaneous functions. So it's a really cool thing to have in the ecosystem because there's so much that you can do with it. It is open source and it does provide these new possibilities. And really, just to conclude, what we've talked about here is, why does this all matter? What's the reason for this? And for us, our mission is moving towards this empowerment technology to where over the next couple of years, we're going to see a shift to where you as an individual, through the usage of your digital wallets, can do different things, to have different experiences when you interact with applications and websites, and that ownership. For many years, we've talked about own your own data, and really this tech stack that we're providing is giving some of the Lego pieces to be able to do that. And by doing that with Hedera in an open source way and making it accessible to everybody, others can contribute and others can start to build out those consumer applications that use these functionalities. And we plan to do the same. We're actually working on a consumer platform as well that's using these snaps that we've developed so that now you will all see, how does one of these actually work when we're using it on a marketplace, and can we do similar, or just to have some idea generation of what you can do. So just follow along. We're going to be continuing to work on this in collaboration with HBAR Foundation, Swirlds Lab, other ecosystem wallet teams and projects, and well into next year.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for the presentation, and thank you for all of the work that you're doing. I think the entire community is excited about this, and as Mance mentioned earlier, EVM equivalence is the goal. So yeah, thank you for contributing to this very big goal. Awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Awesome. So last but not least, we have May, CEO of HashPack. Welcome to the stage, May. I think you also have some slides, so please go ahead and share them.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Just checking. You can hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. So, guys, I don't have a PowerPoint slide today. Actually, I just have my Google Chrome open, and we're going to go through the ecosystem that exists today on Hedera on the retail side. I think that Mance's overview on Hedera as a whole was fantastic, and it's really important to that he talked about what's going on in the broader kind of sphere of Hedera, because really that's why a lot of us are excited about Hedera. What's going on in the banking side, what's going on the enterprise side with, all of the GC members that are coming in and doing cool things. But today I'm here to talk about the retail side and the DeFi side, because that's also an exciting part of our ecosystem that we are here and able to contribute to directly. So let me share my screen here, and you guys feel free to chat while I'm up here. I'm going to be watching the chat as I talk, and let's try to make this like a fun experience. So let me share my screen. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so today's going to be about our community. It's going to be about the DeFi apps that are out on Hedera today. And I'm going to focus on the ones that have built something exciting. And I've polled the community in the past week about what people are excited about, so I can talk about things that are like brand new and exciting. So let's just go with it. First of all, discoverability on Hedera I think is super important. So at HashPack, we built out this site that has us exploring what's available in the community. All of the different dApps that we have integrated with are here. The NFT collections that we're excited about, et cetera, et cetera. It's at hashpack.app/community, and we hope that it's going to be a place that people can come and have a look at what's going on. And we have ideas for making this even more accessible and easier to look at in the future. Also important is in HashPack here, I'm going to log in to my account. I've got it on incognito mode, which is a feature that we added this year that lets you hide your balances and stuff for people who are streaming, keeps their stuff safe. But in HashPack, we also have the dApp tab that has all of the different dApps that you can connect to. And it's a really easy way to do it directly from HashPack Wallet. So have a look at those if you guys are interested in what's going on. We try to keep it updated. We try to keep it as broad as we can, just so that you guys have a good idea of what's going on. So first, the big thing that I want to point out that is brand new in the Hedera ecosystem is smart contract verification on Hashscan. This was done by Swirlds Lab, who runs Hashscan. And this is something that we've been looking for a long time in the developer community, which is being able to verify your smart contract bytecode directly in an Explorer, which is Hashscan. And this allows you to verify, I've never pressed this button, so we'll see what it does, but verify the code inside of a smart contract. And I'm not going to go through this because I don't know how it works, to be honest. But this is really, really important for security of people so that you can verify what's going on, or that other people can verify what's going on in a smart contract. So in hashscan.app, if you have a contract that you're interacting with, you get the contract ID, you plug it into hashscan.io. And you can see that this one here is verified. This is one of the Saucer Swap smart contracts. And this one here is not verified. So I hope that in the future, people who build dApps on Hedera and are building out smart contracts will use this feature, because it's very important for overall security, and it already exists on other chains. So this is a really cool update, and I hope that we'll get to the point where this becomes just like a normal part of building on Hedera. Okay, next up, I have Hashgate. Hashgate is a one-person team that has come out in the past, I think, month and a half. This guy has built out a really slick dApp. And what he's done is, there are two parts that I think are really exciting to point out to you guys. The first one is he's put out a Discord bot that can be used as a tip bot. And so you can see here, we've been playing around with it in Club HBAR and other communities, where you can actually tip people based on their Discord ID. And you can just pass it back and forth once you've signed up on this site. And it's really easy. It's really cool. You can see who, you can tip somebody in a small amount of HBAR, and I think other tokens as well. It's really cool. And also, these guys have built a WooCommerce integration. So you can actually build a e-commerce site like a store, and then take payments in HBAR or USDC or other tokens. And this is, I hope, going to be a really cool way to start selling things online in sort of like a e-commerce way. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys have like an NFT project and you want to start selling things or a token or something like that, check these guys out. It's really cool. If you have a Discord community, you can also check them out and put in their tip bot. If you are a streamer and you want to collect donations in HBAR or USDC or other tokens, you can also do that with Hashgate. So these guys are really cool. Check them out. Next coming up is Etaswap. Etaswap is a DEX aggregator. So you guys all use SaucerSwap probably. You probably also know about HeliSwap and Pangolin. These are all DEXs that exist on Hedera. And Etaswap is also a one-person team. Show him some love because he's put together a DEX aggregator that basically takes these three main ones, and he's also working on H-Suite, but H-Suite is a bit special because they're not smart contract. They are purely Hedera grown. But he's also talking with them. But basically, he's gone and aggregated all of these different DEXs and allow you to swap between all of these different pools. So I think that this is a really cool development in the Hedera ecosystem. And I think it's worth taking a look and giving him some support because things like this, I think, is going to boost Hedera retail up into the limelight in the next bull market. And like Mance says, he thinks that things are going to kick off in 2024. And I've been hearing the same thing. So we're very, very excited. HBAR Suite is already integrated, says Milan. Danilo is a machine. So yeah, there you go. H-Suite is integrated. You guys have the native non-smart contract DEX integrated into Etaswap. So, check this out, try it out, see if you can figure out how it works and show them some love. That would be great. Okay, after that, I am going to talk about this news, which was released, I think, this morning or yesterday. SaucerSwap is now available on DEX Screener. And DEX Screener is a site that allows traders and investors to track and analyze real-time data from multiple DEXs and chains. And you can see on the left here, they've got a whole bunch of chains here, and they have just added Hedera. And all of these price feeds are coming in directly from SaucerSwap, which is fantastic. So this gives Hedera more visibility into the broader Web3 space. It gives easier onboarding for users. And the really cool thing here is that you can actually trade directly inside of DEX Screener in SaucerSwap using HashPack. It's pretty cool. I hope that things like this will also boost awareness in the broader Web3 space. Things are looking really, really cool. And then following that, there's also SaucerSwap. SaucerSwap has launched their V2. And so that means that they're bringing concentrated liquidity to Hedera, which means it's up to 4,000 times capital efficiency versus their V1. And basically, it allows trades to be executed with reduced price impact. And that means your swaps are going to be better. You're going to be able to trade in larger amounts and not swing the price. This is great. And like they just released that this week, I believe. So SaucerSwap as the primary DEX on Hedera right now, they're doing a great job. I don't want to just focus on these guys. I've also talked with HeliSwap very recently. I actually have been in Hong Kong and I visited their office directly and talked with their team and had lunch with them. It was really, really fun. They are also doing some cool things, but they weren't ready to release that, but just keep an eye out for 2024. They're going to be releasing stuff. So lots of development on the DeFi side. You guys are going to love 2024, I think. Also, as a token analytics site, I want to point out hashchads.app. This one is also similar to DEX Screener, except it has all of the Hedera tokens. If you guys are active traders, check this one out too. So, thanks, Milan. I really wanted to kind of give some limelight to some of these projects and give people an idea of what's out there, but also encourage everybody to start talking about what they're seeing in the ecosystem. Because like I can't talk about everything on these calls, and I try my best to keep up to date with everything that's going on in Hedera, but honestly, it's getting so fast and there's so much activity that I can't even keep up myself. So you guys, what I want to point out is like we've got a crazy community here in Hedera, and we just have to be each other's spokespersons and shout each other out and support each other, because that's how we're going to succeed. That's how everyone's going to rise up in the next bull market. That's how we're going to have so much excitement and just have a lot of fun. So, if I can inspire you guys to like check these sites out and talk to the people who are making these crazy projects, try them out, tell your friends about it. Like that makes me happy. Okay, I just have three more here, sorry, and then a quick update on HashPack, and then we're going to be done. Tierbot is a renamed NF tier. These guys have an advanced analytics tool that is really cool. So we talked about DEX activity and following tokens on Hedera. Now, if you want to talk about NFTs on Hedera, Tierbot is a great one. They have market activity updates. They have P&L updates. They talk about the overall market cap of NFTs on Hedera. So if you're interested in that, check them out. These guys are doing a lot of work and have been really steady in 2023. They're really great. And then also related to NFTs, there is this that just came out. XP Network is a multi-chain NFT bridge, and I've just gotten news that somebody in the community who I think is in this call has successfully bridged a token from Hedera to Solana, and they had pictures in the Discord server about a Lethos NFT that is now in their Solana wallet. So I think that's really cool. And so that's new tech that has just come onto the Hedera network. Not quite sure where that's going to go yet, but this kind of bridging and being able to just work on multiple chains easily, that's going to be the way of the future. And so it's really exciting to see this come to Hedera as well. Finally, we have Amari, which is a raffle site that's been up for a while. And the important thing here is that these guys give you a fun way to engage with NFT creators or NFT collectors, where the creator can put out a raffle and people can come in for like a small amount of HBAR and then maybe win like a big ticket item like a ghost or something. And it's just like a free raffle. It's done on chain. And they give you a list of everybody who's bought tickets and everything like that. So that's my update on the community. You guys are really lucky to be in such an exciting time in the Hedera ecosystem. And finally, I have a few minutes left. I'm going to talk about what we've done on HashPack, because we've done some cool things this year. Let's see. We've done email accounts on the network. I think that's huge, because now people can come onto Hedera and not have to worry about seed phrases. They just put in their email and it's secure. As secure as we can make it. People know how to protect their emails. They can add in 2FA onto the email accounts. I think that's fantastic. We've added in themes. So now in HashPack, you can actually get different themes, and you can change how your HashPack looks. So I think that's really cool. It's a way to support us, and it's also a way to make your HashPack personalized. And you can do that in our store, which we have launched, and you can buy themes directly in the app. They're only around 100 HBAR, and we're also planning on doing some special things like collaborations with NFT projects such as Bonacci. There's others coming up. We also do a special seasonal theme, which we released for free, and that was a Halloween theme. And we also have a Christmas one coming up. Here's our Halloween one. It's got a little ghost thing when you swap tabs, but I don't think you can launch. Let's see. Nope. There's a little cute ghost animation that Pluto's put in that I really love, but we can't see it. You can also buy tokens in app. So like before it was just HBAR and USDC. Now you can buy Sauce, Karate, Diamond Standard. These are carrots, which are tokenized diamonds. So those are cool. Check out Diamond Standard if you want. Jam token as well. And we hope to add more in the future. And that is now things that make it easier to come into the Hedera ecosystem. We've also integrated with CentX market, and you can now buy and list NFTs inside of your wallet. And another thing that you may have noticed is there are these profiles here. like such as this one where this guy has a HBAR boon, and the name is crossed out, but that's because I have incognito mode on. In Amari here, there's also this this PFP and their domain name shark.hbar. Amari is another community dApp that has integrated profiles. So if you are in HashPack and you set your NFT picture and you set your NFT username, then it will show up in multiple dApps in the ecosystem. And we think that's really cool. And we want to make it so that you can bring your ID across to the whole ecosystem and have that sort of presence in there and make it like personalized. And we have lots of things in store coming up in 2024. So you guys keep your eyes peeled because it's going to be real exciting. That's all I've got for today. You guys, hope if you have any questions or any comments, you just hop into the HashPack Discord and we can ask your questions. If you have any support things, we have a chat thing directly on our site. Actually, I'll put this up here just because, just if you have any issues, you can come here onto this chat bot and just make sure that you ask a question and our team will answer you directly. So that is the best way to get our support right now. And it's like cut down our scam stuff like so much. It's great. So thank you guys for having me. That's all I've got.
Wow, May, what an incredible update. That was amazing. And HashPack is adding so many cool features. And I really just want to highlight and say thank you so much for this never-ending stream of love and support that you always provide for the community. I know everybody feels it. You're always such a bright light in the room. You bring such great energy. And yeah, thank you so much for highlighting all of the cool updates from the Web3 community side. This has been a really incredible overview and a really incredible call in general with all of the updates we received from all of the speakers today. So thank you everyone who was on the speakers panel and everybody in the audience as well. This will be our last call of the year, so I know it's a little bit early, but I will be wishing everybody a happy holiday season and a happy new year. And we will see each other for the next community call in January, where we will be streaming to multiple platforms, so looking forward to the new year as well. Okay, thank you everybody and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.